Cup you would want to rally behind. It will be tantalizing, I guess. I normally say sometimes it's agony and ecstasy because it's two-legged because of COVID-19, but we all know you need to do well in the first leg to have better chances in the return leg. It is the Uganda Cup. Vipers host Sports Club Villa.
For corrections, Fifi and Asaf, it's the STANBIC Uganda Cup. It's the 47th edition of this, and for COVID-19 reasons, it was played differently from the way it's been played all over the years. Round of 64 is where we started, 32, 16, and now we are at the round of 8. The fixtures at this round of 8 are the feature game today for us, Vipers against Villa. Tomorrow, Express KCC. Then Wakiso Giants against Police. And of course, Proline, the reigning sporting champions, will play either Chigezi Homeboys or Bull. That game is on today. And by the time we leave, we shall give you updates of that. But, Asaf, I beg you first do some introductions of yourself. In a minute, I know you've got a big CV. You've achieved a lot in football in life. But in a minute, tell Ugandans exactly who you are. And maybe they will understand why we zeroed on you to come here for this big game.
Thank you very much, John Band. I am Asaf Mwabaze. As football coach, I've been coaching football since I think 1998, 20 years plus. I have coached Maroons Football Club, being the one that everybody knows me for, Onduparaka Football Club, Nyamitovora Football Club, and of course my home team, Bugolobi Football Club. And of course I'm an ardent football fan. I started supporting football way back in, I think I went to my first game in 1981 to the team that I support. I've supported all my life. So, and I've watched Uganda Cup, very many Uganda Cup games, especially one that KCC FC beat Villa at its prime in Nakiubo 3-0. I think that was one of the
Coach, we shall get to that. Namiru, yes. Everyone knows you've been here a million times. But now let's dive in at the deep end. We're looking at this game, the feature game for us, like I told you, Sports Club Vipers against SC Villa. And the Uganda Cup, Fifi, you followed it from the round of 64 till where we are right now. What has been your moment as we build into this big game down at the Semberi Stadium in Kitende?
I think my moment is about Proline Football Club and Alpha Theory scoring that goal. Of course, it was a wash on social media because of his attachment to Sally Moses, that is Bebe Cool for you. And whereas Ugandan parents did get hope that apparently football sometimes pays, and you cannot ignore Bebe Cool's messages after that the son is worthy $1 million, but I believe every proud parent could go for that. So for me, in this year's edition, that could be my moment.
But Coach Asaf, I know from whenever you've been watching this or following this, you've caught a glimpse of a few of these games, and either through watching, like your favorite club, I know it's KCCA, or Press, and of course UBC, that has showed you a couple of games right from when we started this edition of the STANBIC Uganda Cup. Which moment for you has been the highlight?
The highlight, of course, like Fifi said, there's what they call agony and ecstasy.
Yeah. I
was at a game between KCC and Maroons Football Club.
Oh. you're caught up between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, rock and a hard place. So a team that I coached for 12 years, playing against my childhood.
Your childhood club.
Yes. So, and I was being asked now, which one do you root for? And you know, it's difficult because my children actually support Maroons Football Club, and I personally support KCC Football Club. So it was, first of all, at home, we were torn apart going to the game. Okay. Which side do I root for? But yeah, that is football for you, and we enjoyed the game. Okay, finally, the team that I was rooting for won the game, but it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth when the other team you coached for 12 years couldn't actually make it. So that was one of my highlights. And of course, the other one, like Fifi has said, the one that has caught this year is that Proline game, where that boy Thierry scored a fantastic goal. Yeah. You know, with all that had been said and done, I mean, you can't forget, Uganda Cup has those glimpses, and if you ask anybody, everybody would have their bit to tell you about what this cup
is all about.
Is all about. Of course, this year has left out so many of our small clubs because Uganda Cup is the cup where you expect a small team like Bugolobi to play against KCC. Yeah. So it has left so many people out. We hope that by next year we can get back into the normal, and the games I enjoyed.
Yeah, Fifi, I was lucky. I was born in 1990 when KCC was playing Villa in that final that Asaf alluded to briefly. I've watched great footballing games in the Uganda Cup over the years. But Fifi, which one for you?
No,
Fifi, Fifi.
Yes.
You'll get your time to speak, and you'll prove me wrong. Yeah. Fifi, which game for you has stood out over the years in the Uganda Cup?
Before I go to the game, you said you were born in 1990.
No, I was born by 1990,
times,
and yeah, I was born by 1990, and I watched that game.
He was in
Jackson Mayanja scored half volley, a full volley. That all of us that watched that game still remember it for.
Okay.
Go ahead, Fifi. Which game for you over the years has been great?
I remember the final between Sports Club Villa and KCC in Tungamo as a commentator. I remember, actually, it's just, you could call it new. You reminisce a lot of that. Jennifer Musisi looking at Engineer Moses Magogo. She could not speak, but the gesture on the face was, is this the kind of football that we are injecting money into? And I believe just that look was the reason as to why there was an emergency executive meeting and the match was rescheduled for Nambole. But during that game, before even the game itself, where Robert Done issued out a red card, the KCC players, their coach by then Abdallah Mubiru, came into the game already with biased minds. You could see from the first goal, I watched Habib Kavuma cry, Abdallah Mubiru crying. I cannot forget that game, but John Barnes.
Okay, Coach Asaf, you're building up into that 3-0 KCCA over Sports Club Villa 1990. In 2 minutes, please talk about that game. Ugandans like Fifi that weren't born yet, please relive it for them.
That game was, I could call it for a KCC fan who had suffered at the hands of Villa, because Villa was so dominant in those years, especially from 87, 88, 89, 90. They were very, very dominant. And having not seen KCC beat Villa in such a long time, I remember I was in tertiary school in A3, and I had to come down without permission of my parents to come and watch a game. KCC, you come to Kampala and you have to end up back in Mbarara on the same day to make sure that no information leaks that you are in what. So that was a beautiful, beautiful excitement and of course, as kids, we couldn't get into the stand, so you had to stand on the fence. On the fence.
Perimeter fencing at
yes,
the Stadium.
Yes, and whenever a goal was scored, your feet was in the ground because the stadium was full by 11 in the morning. That stadium was full, so you couldn't move. If you moved an inch, you would not find the friend that you came with from school. So you had to stay holding hands until 5 o'clock when the game was. So the beauty of the game is that it would move us miles. You can imagine as a schoolboy in A3,
living in Tare, coming to Kampala.
About, I think I was 15, 16 years of age, without the parents, but I had to watch those 90 minutes of that game to watch my heroes, the Jackson Mayanjas, the Sam Simbas of this world, yes, take down the mighty Villa. And believe me when I say Villa was mighty, it was a mighty, mighty, mighty club that I had never seen in my life a Ugandan team beat up on an Arab team. Villa was the first team that I had seen take on Al-Ahly in Kivubo. 2-0, and I was in shock. So when KCC took them down 3-0, you can imagine the excitement that we from Lugogo felt at that time. Yeah,
a coach was elated 1990 like I am now, because we are building into a big game. Sports Club Villa away to St. Mary's at St. Mary's Kitende against Sports Club Vipers. It's going to be a big game, but let's listen in to the coaches of the respective clubs. Though for Vipers, it's going to be Paul Chiwanuka, the assistant coach, not the man you know most, Kajoba. But for Villa, it's going to be that man, Edward Kaziba.
Yeah, it's true. We have lost to Vipers 2 times in the league. We've lost to them home and away. But these are different circumstances because tomorrow most of the players are going to be there. The matches we lost to with Vipers, we had problems. So the different circumstances. But this time, all of the players, apart from Waswa Emma, who is not in the team, they're all going to be there. The thing is that we don't have any injuries. So as you see today, we are just finishing the preparations. And so tomorrow we are going very determined and very prepared.
Twice, home and away in the STANBIC and UPL. We are playing a Uganda Cup tomorrow, so I think the approach won't be so different, but they will come with a different approach because they think that it's the tournament which they think they should win this season, because they also want to win some silverware We are also aware that it will not be an easy game, but we have to encourage our players to be more serious. We have no injuries. All the players are available and ready for selection. So it is up to the technical team to see to it that we pick a good team that will give us the results that we need to progress to the next round.
Well, those are the two coaches, Edward Kaziba and, of course, Paul Kiwanuka, and all of them speak of full squad availability, and that is going to play a key part in this particular game. Though, for Vipers, they've got an eye elsewhere. But, Coach Asaf Mwebaze, you've listened to the two gaffers. What do you pick from their messages ahead of this game that is sticking closer to kickoff?
I think Vipers go into this game, of course, as the bigger side. Not of course historically, but the bigger side as in results in the last few games. And Sports Club Villa going with so many problems, I think, off the field, and the strength that Vipers have in depth, because Vipers is a team that has almost 3 players per position. They can field an entire different side and still win the football match, which you can't say for Villa at this particular moment. So as they go into this game, even after listening to the coaches, what the coaches were saying, you could see that the Villa coach was trying to hype up his players and himself, but of course he has a tall order this evening at St. Mary's Chitende, and what they have to do importantly is to at least play this game and make sure that it doesn't slip out of their fingers in the first leg, because if they lose with a very big margin, then it will be very difficult to overturn that kind of deficit. So, but I expect Vipers to come out blaring, because they are chasing the league, which looks like is slipping out of their fingers slowly by slowly. So this could be one other route for them to put their hands on silverware this season.
Abifi, you follow a lot of social media, and you must have seen what was happening all over the place yesterday evening. Yes, I know this is a very emotional game, but can you remind us of why Sports Club Villa and Vipers are rivals, Fifi?
Sports Club Villa and Vipers are rivals is simply because at one point there was a stiff competition between the two. When there is stiff competition between two clubs, definitely you rival, because you're all chasing the title. The semantics and dimensions involved will somehow, somewhere make you rivals. Because if you're to compare success, then Vipers may not come nearer to Villa because of Villa's 16-time champion titles that is in the league. Yeah. Then you come to the 9 titles in the Uganda Cup, whereas Vipers will boost about beating Onduparaka and failing at one point against Victoria University, if I'm to recall very well. Yeah. But apparently, Vipers are the new powerhouse because of the infrastructure, the money injected by Lawrence Mulindwa. You could say, and in the past 10 years, I think it's been them and KCCA. URA somehow sneaking there. Now Express also wanting to come in. But apparently, the rivalry most of the time comes in when there is competition. I think, allow me to talk about during Misaga's regime. He reunited that rivalry, and you could see it at the peak because there was a time Villa had to beat Vipers to win the trophy, and apparently Vipers beat Villa in Masaka Recreation Grounds, and that is how Vipers managed to win. So with such games, then the rivalry, John Barnes, has to come up.
Coach, the emotions are running high down there at St. Mary's Kitende, because as I speak of now, the players are down back in the tunnel, soon to walk on to. But you are a coach. What do you tell your players now? Those final messages as you walk off, because you walk off ahead of the team and they walk on later.
It depends which team I am, because if I am Sports Club Villa right now,
both those teams.
Yes, if I'm Sports Club Villa right now, I would try to make sure that I minimize the damage, or try to sneak something out of this game, to actually minimize it, to make sure that this game is not out of the reach of Sports Club Villa in the next round. So I would make sure that my players are focused, to make sure that Vipers does not get the early goal, to destabilize us, and to make sure maybe we play the game a bit longer, to make sure that the longer it stays maybe at goalless, then Villa has a chance in the next round. Now, if you're the Vipers manager, you are saying, well, I am the big boy, I'm the top dog, we need to win this game convincingly. And convincingly would mean scoring at least 2-0 or 3-0 without Villa's reply, because a reply for Villa also becomes another challenge altogether. So Vipers has to take the game to Villa from word go, and that would be what the coach is telling them. And of course also telling them, like, look here, we are the better team. We are the bigger team at the moment. We are somewhere on top of the league, so we need to go out and show the world that actually we are the big boys at the moment.
Yeah, I remind Ugandans that it's STANBIC Uganda Cup quarterfinals that we are at. The feature game today, Vipers at home against Sports Club Villa. Tomorrow we shall come from Wankulukuku against KCCA. Express will be the hosts there. And of course on the other day, it will be Wakiso Giants against Police. And then Proline will conclude this first leg of the quarterfinals with a game against either Kigezi Homeboys or Bull. That game still at the round of 16, but play today. Second leg, Bull go in there, they need to get a result. They are in the Uganda Premier League. Of course, Kigezi Homeboys doesn't play in the Uganda Premier League, but in the second tier of Uganda football, the big league. Fifi, you're itching to assume gaffer status and talk about what you are telling your players now, the final remarks as a coach.
I think as a coach, it's game approach. For the Vipers, you're home. You've tried to make St. Mary's a fortress, but apparently there are times Villa has come and managed to get wins from there. It is a Uganda Cup. It is a two-tie knockout game. So you have to do right at home, because you don't know what will happen when you visit Villa at the Bombo Barracks Stadium sometime to come. So for Vipers, you've gotten all the players. When it comes to depth in squad, Vipers is a better team. Actually, if I was Fred Kajoba, I would tell them a lot of things because there's a lot going on in Villa, but for Villa, they will leave that behind and come on the pitch to play football. So apparently, you'll have to use your pacey players, use the form of your best scorers, that is in Yunus Sentamu, who Kajoba started in today's game. Try to use the pace of Aziz Kayondo, Paul Wheeler. If you have Halidi Rwalila, you have one of the best defenders in the league. Use them profitably and try to attack Villa from the first moment. You give them space to hurt you, then they can go back and defend when the return leg happens.
Coach, you've been close to players, and lately in Uganda we have that fisher turf. What do the players think of that fisher turf, especially those of a sports club Villa that play on grass and come down to Chitende in a game that is full of emotions? It's emotionally charged through and through, the fans and the players down there, though the fans are not there at this particular game. But Coach, what do the players actually tell you? Because we've got a chance to have you in there in the studio. Tell Ugandans what the players tell you about that fisher turf, transition from grass to that fisher turf.
Of late, I think most players have gotten used. Actually, you'll find that some teams even play better when they come to the artificial turf, because the ball moves a bit evenly, and playing becomes simpler. But of course, when the artificial turf was first introduced in Uganda, everybody used to say, "Oh, it is very hot, it is very hard." It's, you know, every kind of. But as time went on, with so many artificial turfs that are mushrooming around Uganda, now players play there regularly. Now, when they come to play on such a turf, it's no longer an advantage. That is why now you find that even KCC is finding problems playing at home against other teams. So Vipers also cannot, like Fifi had said, actually Villa, I think, has beaten them more than any other team at that ground. Every time they go to Chitende, somehow Villa, even at its worst, pulls the magic word out of the bag and beats them. So that fisher turf is no longer an advantage to anybody, because people have gotten used to playing on these surfaces. So right now, the difference now will be the players that each team takes out, then what the strategy of the coach is, and who wants it most actually. It might come down to who wants this game most. Yeah, and in the Uganda Premier League, a sports club Villa has lost twice this season to Vipers. Fifi, which players can Vipers put out today to redeem themselves? But of course, Villa.
Coach Kaziba, at his disposal, you have a Geoffrey Waswa who left Vipers unceremoniously. So you have this player who is urging to try show them what they are missing. He's at the back at the time when you've lost Asman Alishe because of background issues. So you can try to partner him with the young Gavin Chizito Mugweri. You have a Kabonge who you can try in the midfield. For Sports Club Villa, they have had so many goal scorers. I amidst the team. They have no definite striker, which means that Vipers will have problems to track down who will try to score. So for me, for Mr. Kaziba, then you have a young Sechiganda, fresh from Masaza, who wants to make a name. So give him chance to try lobby, try to maneuver the midfield of Vipers and see if he can pull down something for you. Otherwise, Vipers may seem a little more organized than Sports Club Villa before the tie.
Coach, usually before games we see the managers giving us their formations. Do these players actually respect the formations? And for this particular game, what do you think Villa is coming out with as well as Vipers?
The Vipers has been oscillating between the 3-5-2, then sometimes they'll go back to the back four. But Villa has been very consistent, playing the 4-3-3. Of course, without the playing formations, then the football will not be the same. The players have to follow the instructions of the coaches, the movements, and because the formation determines how you either attack when you have the ball or defend when you lose the ball. So the players have to follow the formations. If you find a team that's not following the formation, that means that team is poorly coached, and probably they don't even train.
Yeah, I know, Fifi, Coach Asaf watches football as a fan most of the times, but you do more as a journalist from aerial positions. Do Ugandan teams respect these formations Coach is talking about? Do you actually see them in play when the game starts, or we go into Chinyumbani style?
I think football has changed world over. In the first 5-10 minutes, you see them actually obeying. But as the game escalates, you see lots of changes. Some players take on the free roles. It depends on the strictness of the course, because for Swabosa, you don't follow, he takes you out. And other coaches sometimes may love to let you play your own. For some Simbwa, he will get you out, even after playing about, even for Abdallah Mubil. But there are some other coaches who let you find your better shape, because I've seen Vipers players sometimes switching between Alan Kayua, Pomo Chorezi, sometimes Abraham Mundugwa, in case they are given a chance to start, because they didn't start today. But I've seen them trying to switch. But if it's answer your question, it is relatively. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Coach Asaf, what happens to you when a coach fails? So when a player fails to adhere to the regulations, to the formations that you set out?
It depends, like FIFA said, it depends on the kind of player. Because if you have this player who is the playmaker, usually the playmakers will want to oscillate from position to position, depending on how things are going. Especially if things are not going very well, you find this particular player will try to move from wing to wing, trying to make sure he looks for the position where he can break down the other defense. But in most cases, if you find the players, if I was the coach and I see the player not following instructions, I would put you out of the team, because you actually don't know what we planned to go out to do. Because when you're going to play a game, you know exactly what you want out of this game, and to get it, we play in phases. For example, first 15 minutes, what should we do if we are playing Vipers? Then after 15 minutes, what do we do? In case we have a goal, what do we do? The reactions, all those reactions depend on the formation of the team, and what you have told them to do. So if you find one person who is not following the formation, that means that person is letting you down completely. And either you lose this game miserably or fail to score because this player is not in position.
Now, Fifi, yes, Vipers against Sports Club Villa.
Yeah.
There is a Yunus Sentamu the other side.
Yeah.
His own form, scintillating form.
Yeah.
What can Villa do about that particular player?
Don't allow him to get supplied the ball too, because the moment he gets supply, he's a very good control of the ball. He's very good with pace. He reads the game very well. He is very good with the interplays, and it's him and Manzoki. So sometimes you will see the head brushes from Manzoki to Yunus, just cut off the supply from the midfield, because with Bobos, you have a Sentamu Siraje who will go with antagonism in the midfield, try to lay off some players of Sports Club Villa, and then you have Bobos who will go in for creativity. That means that don't give Sentamu chance to get the ball. If he does, mark him tightly. But I believe Geoffrey Waswa, if he starts today's game, knows Sentamu's abilities very well. They played together for some time, if I'm to remember, before Sentamu did go off. And apparently, you think that's what they have to do. Cut off supply, don't let him play.
Coach Asaf, referees, the men in black, they used to put on black throughout in my years. Now they can change and put on any kind of color. But the guys that hold that whistle, how much of an influence are they in such a game, which, like I've told you, Ugandans, is really charged up?
This game, I don't know who the center person is for this game, but such a game, especially between Vipers and Villa, you need to have a referee that is seasoned, one who can handle even the pressure, because sometimes the pressure gets onto the referees themselves. and they either make mistakes that can lead to, for example, the result swinging from one way to another. So you need a referee who is seasoned, who is experienced enough to handle this kind of pressure, because it's a quarterfinal of the Uganda Cup and it's between Villa and Vipers. What the biggest clubs are actually in Uganda at the moment, because Villa, you will never take it away from them. You know you can't.
Yeah, they've gotten the success.
They have the success.
They have
16 times
achieved that.
champions
In the league,
in
nine
the
times
league,
in the
nine
Uganda
times
Cup.
in the Uganda Cup.
Yeah.
They have gotten further in the Champions League. I mean, you can never take it away from them. So whenever Villa is playing, and
Yeah.
those players who wear the jersey of Villa, they will always know this club is what? Is a
Big.
very big club. So when they get into the field against Vipers, it doesn't matter. It is Sports Club Villa that's what? On the field of play. So the referee has to make sure that they're at their best form, at their best ability to handle such a game.
Thank you very much, Asaf Bwebazi and Fifi Fiona-Pick Inamiro, the two lads given to me to break down this game for you. And let me cross over to the St. Mary's Stadium in Jitende, where Peter Otai will be coming live with the commentary, and Fifi Fiona-Pick Inamiro. See you at 45 minutes, but please keep it calm. Emotions shouldn't run high at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the lineups for both teams, starting with that of SC Villa. In goal, shot one, Martin Semkoto. Shot two, Subuga Joseph.
The defending champions of the Uganda Premier League, it is Vipers Soccer Club, and we are coming to you live all the way from the beautiful St. Mary's Stadium, all the way in Chitende. My name is Peter Tai, and we bring you a battle between two giants of Ugandan football. Vipers currently not standing very bad when it comes down to the Uganda Premier League, but Villa relatively standing at number 8 on the table. It's basically 20 points separating Villa from the Vipers in the domestic league. But this is one that Villa need to take very seriously, and Vipers will try very much to see if they can actually go down and close the action together. The lineups are out for the Vipers. They'll be going out with more of a 4-2-3-1, but preferably it will be 3 men at the back, and of course it will be Mulondo, Walida and Wheeler commanding that back, as Kayondo will be moving forward on the other side. For Villa, this is how it stands for them. It's 4-2-3-1-2. Okwang will be the one to look for the goals, as Senoga, Kabonge and Masereka will try very much to see if they can get something from today's game. Some small fireworks down here at the St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende, actually call them crackers, as the two will be gearing up for this game. It is the STANBIC Uganda Cup battle, first round at the quarterfinal. Center referee Dr. Ali Sabila will be the one in charge of this, assisted by Leo Okello, Lydia Nantambo and Henry Musisi.
The center referee for today is Ali Sabila. He will be assisted by Okello Lee, Nantambo Lydia, the second assistant, and Musisi Andre as the fourth official. Brian Mino Subuga, the match commissioner. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the game.
But apparently for Vipers, they have tried going out to the finals to a Julius Poloto goal scored in Bukedia about 2 seasons ago. They come back again, and to win this year's trophy, they need to get past this stage. They are fighting on 2 fronts. They need the league, and at the same time, they anticipate they can go for a title. For Villa, the Uganda Cup is something they can hold on to save their season.
Dr. Ali Sabila will be the one to get us underway down here tonight as we get ready to see how far the action will be driving up from here. Well, Sports Club Villa shall be the ones to get us underway here. It could be, sorry, Vipers rather. The man himself, Manzoki, standing on this ball. It will be Vipers driving us from the left to the right, as Villa the Jogos will be driving this from the right to the left here in Chitende.
Clad in blue, Sports Club Villa Jogos.
The referee does get us underway here. That is Dr. Ali Sabida. Question remains, who will be the victor over today's game here tonight? The wonderful atmosphere down here in Chitende. Paul Wheeler trying to notch that ball away to Orit. Surprisingly, he's actually still on side. Orit looking to deliver this one quickly. Ball just easily glides away there for a goal kick there from Ibrahim Orit in this one.
Yeah, Vipers ejected UPDF to get to this stage, whereas Sports Club Villa needed to win against Onduparaka in green light and worked for a stalemate at Bombo Barracks to get to this stage. Bobos with the corner.
Ruhanga balls, it's a nice one, and just got in the way. The referee does award that for the free kick. Improvement on the goalkeeper there, Martin Senkoto. Very young goalkeeper, you have to admit, Martin. Financial problems do follow Sports Club Villa when it comes down to there. But it's standing very well financially. Defended very well there by put away there by looking very nice down in Chitende, I can tell you. Not very hot, not very cold, you have to admit. It's a beautiful day for football this afternoon.
It's the best weather to play on an artificial turf, meaning you could manage the heat that comes from the carpet. Villa attacking. Good
bread from Villa, scrubbed away. Oh, this is put away with another throw in here for the balls. Sports Club Villa will be looking to throw this one very quickly. Joseph Nsubuga will be the player looking for slightly behind. Subuga collected well there by Amir Kayondo. Chance for Guang Isaac. Straight up to the goalkeeper. Sekaja Bashir, another young prospect of a goalkeeper, was enjoying the bench at Vipers. A very instrumental footballer that I last saw playing for Proline, was very outstanding. Willa. Lualida. Dragging that ball away to Livingstone. Mulondo. Cropping ball forward from Mulondo. And stolen away by Saddam. Well, they keep the pressure around. That is the joggers of Villa. Currently not giving away anything for granted in here. That's Watambala currently holding his hip there. Taking a slight knock. Subuga. Aziz. Ball is behind. Gavin. Looking for Waswa. Holding it very well here. That is Sports Club Villa. Now they drive that ball slowly by slowly, looking for more possession. Senoga. With a run, Senoga, and very good play there from Willa Paul. Trust me, I don't know how far this game will be ending, but it is a good one this Tuesday.
It's a very good one. Actually, can make a very good final. But when it comes at the quarter-final level, then the fans have to enjoy. Both teams would love to progress Peter Utai, but it's what you put on the field that will give you that.
Dahiro. And collected finally here by Babosi Ruhanga. Paul Wheeler. Babosi. Long ball away from the young lad. The man from Congo just going down there. Manzoki sees a lobby. Here now to Vipers.
Derek Ndahiro there. He's being nurtured to become the next Nestor Chizito. Villa did win a lot of accolades with Nestor playing at right back. And he loves to be called small body, big brains. Derek Ndahiro for you. Vipers need to be alert, more especially Paul Wheeler, who is running head to head with Derek Ndahiro, who is coming in from the left back side of Sports Club Villa.
Livingstone Mulondo trying to venture that ball for looking for Azizi Kayondo, was being slightly quiet. Fortunately for him, beaten to the ball by Joseph Nsubuga and away by Gavin. Well, Villa currently enjoying that midfield and they are not giving away anything for granted. It's Sechiganda looking for Saddam. What can Saddam do on this? Trying to crop and probe and probe. Well, the venture forward, good movement from Kakomo Amir, and left away there by Sechiganda. Straight up to the goalkeeper, Bashir Sekaja. Yeah, Game still failing to get its rhythm and momentum here, I can assure you.
Yeah, but Otai, we all know the rivalry between both teams. You cannot just open up immediately. You'll need to study the tactics your opponent is using so that your game approach is a little bit better. You could see Vipers trying a bit in the first minutes, but it's like Villa has grown more confidence and is trying to be a little more astute in the midfield, because when you give Vipers a leeway to attack you, you leave those spaces, then Bobos or Riti attacking from the right can easily hurt you.
Luadida. Back to the goalkeeper, Sekaja. Well, actually, pronunciation, Luadiwa, that's his name. Right, having a problem. If the president was listening to me right there, I would be having a big problem.
No.
He actually talked about pronunciation of local names, His Excellency, yesterday. But this is Khalid. I'll stick to Khalid.
That is super confidence, trying to blood the backyard, but they need to push more forward.
Well, coach Asaf Mwebazi coming in with a lot of history when he used to travel all the way from Mbarara to watch his mighty Villa play.
No,
I don't know if
Asaf is for the mighty KCC.
Oh, KCC rather. When
yeah, he will even
Villa.
box you if you attach him to Sports Club Villa.
Well, the most interesting thing about Coach Asaf is he's grown an afro and he's looking nice with that afro. This is Sekaja.
But that afro didn't help Maroons get past KCC, eh?
One play, good play there from Sechiganda, and now well read there perfectly by Gavin a while ago. Collected calmly. Well, they play with a lot of pace now, the Jogos. Senoga here inside the box, and again Senoga keeps the ball on play straight up to Sekaja, but
it had gone out a bit.
Yeah.
By the time he crossed, it had gone out a bit, but good consistency. But apparently Sports Club Villa didn't have members following up on the ball in the middle of the box because they needed someone to meet the ball, and that's why Senoga probably decided to go outright with it.
Well, some bit of problems right now, lack of concentration from the Vipers. Well, their record here at home has been very poor, I have to admit. They've not actually, in their last 5 games here, they've not won a game. The Vipers, that record is not good. And they did lose to Mbarara City here by 3 goals to 2 in the league recently.
Yes.
Sentamu.
And a couple of draws did happen as time went by.
What does it mean to be closer together? It's taking the last bus home for a surprise visit. Closer together is strangers finding a connection. It's bringing home something much more than a box. It's the warmth of home, or the beginning of something new. There's magic in sharing the things that we love, because it's those things that bring us close together.
Has anyone seen Bob? Over here! How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
But you don't even have a bank account.
Well, it's not a card. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
The Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.